Hey guys, this is the No Days Off podcast. This is not just about what No Days Off means to me, it's about what No Days Off means to you. Let's build the No Days Off movement and get people healthy again. My name's Paul Gane, I'm a health optimization specialist.
So tell us your story then, Paul. Where are you from? Where did you start?
So, I grew up in mainly Lamwin Village, went to Clean School. Didn't really come out of school with much. I think I had 4 C grades at GCSEs. I did enjoy maths. I did go to college to do interior design, but it didn't really work out. I started working one Christmas in a sweet factory levels and enjoyed the money, so didn't go back. Always regretted that. Been in the gym since I was 16. It's always been passion. My uncle Tony introduced me to the gym the one time, and obviously it's just gone from strength to strength. You know, I was always quite short and quite stocky, but I always carried a bit of timber as well around the waist, and I always wanted to do one bodybuilding competition just so my son could say my dad was Mr. Wales. And so I finally plucked up the courage to get on a plan. I think I took it out of Flex magazine. From James Flex Lewis, who turned out to be obviously the best bodybuilder ever to come out of Wales. Probably, you could argue, maybe along with Donny Nace for the UK. But yeah, so so I did the bodybuilding competition. Did the Number Wales, came second at my first show. Then I did another one the 4 months later. And I sort of thought I could run with the big boys. Rather than do a novice class, I did the open class. And I would have 100% won the novice class. I came third in the big boy class, so to speak, the open class, which was still good. And I had the hook. I competed about 7 times. Finally, in 2015, I won my class at the Welsh Championships, UKBF Welsh Championships under 80 kilos. Came away from the bodybuilding then. My wife had 2 children, came away from the bodybuilding and sort of life gets in the way, you know, started my steel construction business. We started that in 2016 and that went from strength to strength, to be fair. And that sort of allowed me then, later on in life, to pursue things that wasn't really financially rewarding, more just rewarding for me inside. And this is where we've sort of got to where we are now with the health optimization and the clinic Optimal Health. It's just, I walk in the doctors and I see people with bad knees and I know I can help them. And obviously it's frustrating because there's a very grey area at the moment with research products. And so even though people are quite happy to take pharmaceutical drugs with a big toxicity, burning holes in their organs, and obviously the doctor's answer to everything is a pharmaceutical drug which is toxic, you know, and we'll fix that with that one, and then the problems that one gives you we'll fix with that one, and then it's just a catalogue of errors, a catalogue of inflammation, and inflammation is just when all your trouble starts in the body. So yeah, it is very frustrating for me when I know I can help a lot of people, but a lot of people are not willing to take a chance, sort of thing, you know. It sounds a bit thing, but people have to be, usually people are quite desperate when they come to me because they've tried everything else and nothing works. And then they come to us and they get relief and they get their life back. Yes, so I'm gonna go back to my childhood really, because when I was 16, I had a little bit of trauma in my life, and then that resulted in me hanging around with the wrong sort of crowds, and then I found myself in the cars of individuals selling the cannabis and Class A's drugs, and ended up doing it myself and ended up getting sentenced to prison in 2002 at 20 years old. So served the custodial sentence, and to be honest, it was quite an eye-opener because I was brought up very well. My parents did everything they could for me. I had no excuse for what I did. You know, where when I was in the Impact prison, I seen people around me and I was like, wow, you know, the people they used to want to be in prison for Christmas because that was their family. And what does that say about the system and, you know, what's out there for people, you know? And it was always quite funny because the I was going to say screw then, the security officer always used to say, Gane, you won't be back, Gane, you won't be back, Gane. And he said, I don't say that to a lot of people. He said, but you won't be back. And I did never go back. Never look back.
So what do you think you learned from all that, and how have you taken that forward into your life sort of thing?
I was just determined to make a better life for myself, you know. And then obviously, once I'd met Carla and once I met Carla and then we had the kids, and I wanted to create a future for, you know, my family as well, you know, include my son Ryan, Ryan's a lot older. I had Ryan when I was 18. And he is actually doing very well for himself now. It's nice to see, to be honest. But yeah, it's just, you know, it wasn't a custodial sentence. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. It wasn't the worst thing I've had to do in my life, you know. I've had to do harder things than that. But it was just like thinking, no, this is not for me. This life is not for me. And that is why, as a company, we've always given people chances. We are known for giving people chances. I've took many people off custodial sentences, help them get their MVQs, give them a job, and help them create a better life for themselves. Because I am massively on chances. Give people chances. Sometimes me and the wife row over it because you got to stop giving these chances to people. But I'm not going to change who I am. And yeah, sometimes it does bite you in the ass because they end up taking the mick out of you. But some people are genuine, take that chance. Like I took the chance that was given to me by a lovely guy once. And, you know, they create things with it. And now those people are getting mortgages for the first time in their lives and stuff like that. And it feels good, like, you know, because, you know, not everything in life is about health and optimization. I think life's about chances and opportunities and taking what's in front of you. And, you know, no regrets. Do you know what I mean?
Tell us a little bit about the construction company then. How did that come about? What sort of stuff are you doing there? What sort of community work do you do there? Sponsored sports teams, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I started the company in 2016. And it was quite a bizarre thing, really. I seen a thing on Facebook where they wanted 4 men for a job in Birmingham. So me being me, I said to the guy, if I supply the 4 men, you pay me and I'll pay the men. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So that's where it all started. I thought, this is easy. So that was how it started, really. We was literally just labour supply at the beginning. But it grew very fast. Because the people around me was grafters. Do you know what I mean? You're only as good as your men. And I'll always say that. You're only as good as your men. And I always try to be very fair to people. Some people might say not agree, but you know, you can't win them all. So we went on from the construction then with the steel erection, and we've moved into temporary access scaffolding now. We're just about to move into solar, Gane energy. So we've got the Gane structures, Gane access, Gane energy. And then I've got somebody that sort of runs that full time now, because this clinic is my passion. It's not like going to work. It's just, I live and breathe it every day. I live and breathe health, fitness. I do. And, you know, when people think of, when you say peptides to people, everyone straight away thinks about GLP-1s and Monjaro and retatrutide because of the fat burners. But for me, it's so much more out there that it can do. You know, I've had a man come to me with waiting on a knee replacement, and the next day, Paul, I'm pain free. I've had a guy waiting for a new shoulder. 4 days later, Paul, I'm pain free. That is so rewarding for somebody who's been having pain in his knee for 10, 15 years, or somebody that's been waiting for a shoulder replacement where they won't change it until he's 55, and he's in his early 40s, and he's got to carry barrels and stuff every day. You imagine the pain every day, and to ring me 4 days later and tell me that that's pain-free, it gets me going, like, you know what I mean? It does.
So tell us about the clinic then. So what does the clinic do? What does it entail?
So basically, at Optimal Health, you can come into us. We can do take your bloods. We can see what's going on, and then obviously when we get the blood results, then we can take a look at things. We've got a doctor we work with in Cardiff that can help with TRT for men, which I think is massively not used enough. There's a book by a French doctor, and it's called The Ageless Man. And in that book, he was trying to get out there that male menopause, which is called andropause, is just as important to be treated as menopause is for women. And he was laughed at for I think 10, 15 years. Without going back to the book, I don't have the best of memories. But I remember the important stuff. And so he pushed it for years, and then all of a sudden, then they started listening to him, and it is a game changer. If men can catch their andropause early enough, they'll live 10, 15 years longer, and a quality life. It's like we accept waking up in the morning with a bad back or a bad knee, a bad elbow, low energy. It doesn't have to be like that. Your health can be optimized quite easily. You know what I mean? You don't have to change every single thing you eat. You can still eat nice things. It's just moderation. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of the processed shit and start eating healthy foods, organic foods, you know. But, you know, and obviously then there's supplementation to help with other things. And like I said, we get the bloods done and we see where we go from there, and we help them. We advise them on building a protocol for themselves. And obviously then they go away with the protocol. And yeah, some of them, you know, stay in touch with me regular, and some don't. I want to touch on something. So we've got a community group for the clinic, Team Optimal. And so I started saying all the time, #no days off, #no days off, all the time. And it was sort of just a saying first, you know, never give up, or no excuses, no days off. And the one night in the group, one of the gentlemen in the group said about, if it wasn't for the group, he don't know where he would be. He was on the verge of losing everything. And when I thought about it all night. And the next day, it was my day off the gym, okay? No days off. I was like, no days off. There is no days off. There is, just because it's the day off the gym, there's no days off in life. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be accountable every day for what you're doing. You know, whether it's family, gym, your food. There is no days off in this world. And that is why we are, so this podcast is going to be called No Days Off. And I want to know what no days off means to everybody, not just myself. Okay, so I'm hoping to line up a few people that are known. Well, we're going to be talking to a few of our clients at the clinic for now, and their stories, how they've come across me and the clinic, and my wife and my sister, who are both very, very educated as well, pardon me. So yeah, we got a few people to speak to, but we are going to be looking. I've got a few people. I'm not going to mention names in case they say no. I'm like, you owe me a favour. So I'll get to them and we'll see what happens there. Maybe I'll let them see this and they might like what I'm where I'm going with it, you know what I mean? And then they might agree to it more. So yeah, as I'm sat here now, there's another name coming into my head.
What do you hope to achieve with the podcast?
From this, I want the no days off movement. I want everybody to think like that. Everyone to think like that. Small change every day. What I get every day, right, is somebody saying to me, will you do me a diet? If I write you a completely new diet, you are not going to stick to it. 9 out of 10 people will fail a week and a half in. Paul, I'm sorry, I can't do no more. So I say, show me what you're doing and I'll change one thing. Consistency. Let me just change that one meal from 0% fat-free yogurt to 10% Greek yogurt. Change that one meal there now. That's easy, innit? If you're used to eating 4 meals a day, your lamb wrap, your chicken wrap, your eggs on sourdough toast, and I just swap that one meal, you can do that. You know what I mean? It's not too much outside your box. It's not too much outside the comfort zone. But in the space of 10 weeks, that diet might be completely different every single meal that you was doing. Because consistency is building habits. Consistency is key. Ticking those boxes every day, ticking those boxes. Okay guys, that's it for this week's podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe and follow on whatever platform you're watching on. Stay ad, no days off, Team Optimal.